All right. Hi, everyone. Roy here again. And we're working on Polyglot. We're working on our new translation OBS plugin. Let's just see we have everything working. Okay. So, yeah, we left off kind of around here. We were starting to get the translation doc kind of up and running, and which is cool. We can take a look at OBS and see what it looks like, just not connected anywhere. Nothing works, nothing of interest in here, which is fine. By the way, I think we should find the default port in here to put in here. And also in here, I think I'll put in like the default user home directory, so that when we click here, it goes there. And we can select the file, or like the downloads directory or something like that. Kind of makes sense like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Even these guys are not hooked up anywhere. So let's go ahead and hook up some things. Maybe this is like the first thing to do. Anyway, but the dock is there, and it's it's only got this thing on it. Right? So it's a little weird, but yeah. All right, so let's quit OBS and get back to work. Yeah. All right. So I just want to make sure that my stream is okay. All right, good. So we have the settings dialog, and it's there's nothing going on there. It's like nothing is connected anywhere. I think one of the basic things is like connect the cancel button to close. Right, that's easy. And then we need to connect the OK button to the save settings function. Right, so we don't have a save settings function yet, but we should. And so this save settings thing is something that we need. We need like all the settings from this plugin to save them basically to disk. Now I have done a little bit of that over in URL source. Let's see what we have in URL source. In here we have parsers, so that's fine. UI, that's fine. Yeah. This thing here, saving all that. See all of that. JSON. Yeah. Let's go and pick up brain again. Looks like I might not have brain checked out on this machine. Yeah, I probably don't. Okay. No big deal. We could do that. We just need to go and grab is to go and grab brain. Now, brain is not out yet, but brain is like a real AI LLM inside OBS. This is something I've been working on kind of like on the side. I will get to it, and you all would get get also kind of like a progress report on this. But I'm still working on this in like all kinds of different ways. But I did a couple of interesting things here in Brain, in terms of like the settings dialog, and the way that I save things, like the config, saving stuff to file, and all that sort of stuff. I kind of did some work to streamline that stuff. So I just want to fetch this over. So we'll just go and like, wait, let's go in downloads. That's where all my stuff is. We'll grab brain. And at some point, we'll start talking about brain too. So worry not. But for now, we're just going to do some copy and paste. Okay, so I got like some config data in here. So don't worry about the irrelevant stuff, but I have some config utilities here that I want to grab. This is just going to make it like much easier to work with the config files in OBS, like getting the folder in place and all that sort of stuff. So let's just grab these two files actually and head over. Oh, this is URL source. And head out here. And let's create an OBS utils, or let's just call this utils, and put this thing in here, and we'll do config data for now. And this would be Polyglot, right? Polyglot config data. That stuff. Call this config data. Local cloud. That's actually an interesting thing. So we'll have local model path, and we'll have to do a local SPM, sentence piece model path, and then cloud. Let's just leave this stuff in here because at some point I think like Polyglot will also use potentially a cloud service like DeepL. All right, so we don't need temperature. Output tokens, actually something that is quite interesting. A system prompt is not interesting. And then, yeah. So we will get to all of this stuff at some point. But the most important things are in here. For future use, I'll put this up in here. and go like that. Okay. So yeah, I do need translate to context. I do need this translate to context, but not like that. I need something like this. It'll be like, all right, polyglot global context. And what this will hold, what this will hold is actually the, all right, exactly. We need the translate options and the translator. Right, so here in my little demo, I had, oh, I also need this guy. Where are we? I also need this guy. But I set up translator. Add some translation options in it that are kind of fixed in a way. But this is stuff that we need for like runtime. Because we have two things here. We have like runtime stuff that we need to run the actual C-translate model. And here we have stuff that we want to persist. Things that we want when the plugin loads up. Now we want to fetch this from disk. Like this is the location of the models, and maybe some up like max output tokens or something like that, which is reflected in here, like max decoding length. So we can store that. All the other stuff I don't think that we necessarily need, but this might be something that we should consider doing. But yeah, and so the tokenizer and detokenizer, that's something that we may want to include here in our context, the tokenizer and detokenizer. Tokenizer will be a function like that, and the detokenizer will be a function like this. Yeah, very cool. We also would need to include functional. Very, very nice. All right, util config file. This comes from OBS. And so we may need to hack OBS to actually get this to work, but we'll see. It's like very, very mostly likely we would need to do this actually, but let's give this a moment. All right, so we got that. Now, two things. We want to get the global context in place, and we want to get the global config in place. All right, this is cool. Now we have save config and load config. This one is set up, so let's have a look in here. Config, these are like defaults. So one moment. We need these two. These are the externs. This is the instance of the extern. Yeah, so it doesn't really know. Local is true. Local model path. Now local SPM path. Club model name, API key, max output tokens. Temperature we don't have. System prompt we don't have. This is all leftovers. That's fine. Okay, so this is totally fine. Create config folder. We totally need this. Get config. We'll call config ini. It's fine. And then we have two functions here. We want to serialize it to JSON and get it from JSON. So we can actually just get rid of the LLM here that comes from Brain. And this should be Polyglot config data, because this is where it comes from. And now let's just give token. Yeah, it's already kind of like off. So we get the SPM path. The SPM path in here. Let's see that we're well aligned with what we have. Get these three that are relevant and these three are irrelevant. So I think we're good. And now we need Polyglot config data in here. So instead of this, we're gonna get this. Very good. We're done. Config. Generate LLM config. Let's call it Polyglot. And now we have two things here that are different. By the way, if you don't know this yet, polyglot means multilingual, means multiple languages. Okay, able to speak in multiple languages, just kind of the aim of this plugin. Okay, so we got a few trailers in here. We had it, config data to JSON, that's fine. Default settings, we don't really need LLM in here. We don't need that, we need global config. We don't need that. This would be Polyglot. Polyglot config. See what we're missing. No more LLM. We are good. Now let's add this into our CMake. I mean, yeah, it's just a one file. So utils config data cpp. Let's do that. Let's do this one. All right, save settings. So really what we want to do with save settings is we want to include utils config data and save the settings. Yeah, so let's have a look in Brain. Let's have a look in Brain how I did this over there. So first of all, disconnected the button box accepted. was that, right? Okay. I actually don't know. Cancel and okay. I don't think that's the way that it's set up. It's not cancel and okay, it's a button box. We got the button box. So that's not exactly how you do this. You need to go to UI button box. Wait, so I had it in brain just a second. So this is really, this is kind of exactly what we need to do. Very, very similar. Dialog save button. With the dialog can selection to close the dialog. Nice. Without saving anything. Now let's just get the global config in here. We're missing one more thing, but we don't have a system prompt. We don't have a temperature. The rest of the stuff we do have. Save settings. You're good. Let's see what we have here in terms of the settings. We got local. Got a few things in here. Okay. So there's model file. Called model file. And then we have SPM file. It's called. And now these guys I don't have settings for right now, so let's just zap that for the time being. Oh no, that's wrong. All kinds of wrong. Not brain. Polyglot. Okay, so modify an SPM file. Local is another thing that we don't have right now. There's nothing. LLM, nothing. Think that we're good. Let's do that. So the settings should start saving stuff now, but we also need to populate that stuff with data. So let's get the file dialog. So we want to connect this to that button, to the model file button. That's how it's called. And the model files are, it's actually get open file name, your file dialog. That's not true. Allow selection of a folder. So I don't think that this is doing exactly what we need. That's going to allow us to open a right, so qt6 docs, and what we're looking is like folder selection dialog, folder dialog, qml, qfile dialog. Let's start there. Let's start here. Qfile dialog with the flags are like this directory currently being displayed in the dialog. Yeah, what are we looking to get open file name? Sequence status function to return existing directory selected by the user. So get existing directory, open directory. Get existing directory. This is what we need. All right. Model path. And okay. Now, okay, this is going to be weird. So if def win32, not C, as much as I want to use something like get env user profile. That's kind of what I want. Else we can go like this. So let's just put this in a Q string, because who knows. This will get the user's home directory. But we don't have a formatter for C++, which is weird, because we definitely have a client format. src UI. Let's store this. Yeah, it's getting out of hand. So get this in place. Now this is going to open a directory and show us the directories from, hopefully, the home folder. Yeah, very, very neat. I don't know if we would need any of that. So this would open that. Now we need another one for SPM. And this is right. Nope. We need a .model file. Okay. This would be, it's kind of just doing the same thing. which is fine. Although we could abstract this somehow. Yep. All right, this is very neat. Now these guys are gonna go in there. That can be saved. Very, very cool. The other thing that we're missing is that when we open it, we need to populate the thing from the config. All right. That. I got this. Very cool. All right, I think this is good for us to just start building and see how it does. If the stream is still live and going. I can put this in like a namespace. Anonymous names. Nope. Get home directory. Home, that's, yeah. And so instead of all of this stuff, we can just do keep it simple. All right, what do we got? All kinds of problems, as expected. Yeah, all of these guys. Brain, actually, brain, like that. I want to change it to Polyglot. Do all of that. This in one fell swoop. Yeah, so C translate to. This doesn't know about that, which is expected. I need to bring in C translate 2, but maybe there's something that's a little bit more lightweight. C translate 2. I know there's types, but it's not, doesn't help us much. Okay, so we can get translator H. I mean, it's not that bad. Don't worry. We were here in config data. So I can't really run any forward declarations of these guys. Can't really run any forward declarations because they're not pointers. These guys are not pointers, so I can't use forward declaration. So let me think. Okay, this one seems to be fine. We're anyway using this dot load kind of deal. But the translator is constructed. This one is also, we can just set it up, but the translator is constructed. So it makes some sense to set up this as a pointer. that we'll have to allocate and deallocate when the plugin is done. The other part is this sentence piece processor. Nope, not this one. Yeah, there's nothing much. That's kind of what we need. It's not going to be a lot of avoiding that. Sentence piece. Yeah, I just feel bad about those H files that I now have to bring into my unsuspecting H file here. And it's just not going to be as lean, but that might be something that we just have to deal with. Yeah, this is really unfortunate because the config data.h file will probably get shuffled around all kinds of different places. And so we will be bringing these H files with us, which is unfortunate in all sorts of ways. This one, for example, we don't need here. This in here. This is unfortunate. So I'm actually going to forward declarate and use pointers. So it's translate to translator for declaration, namespace, to translate to. Yeah. Yep. And so we'll have to make these pointers. I have to make these pointers. Then we use for declaration, and we don't need those H files anymore. And the H files can safely just live, well, someplace else. Yeah. This is just storing that, storing pointers, so we don't need any of that. Nice. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to rebuild now. And start looking at where things go wrong. Now this one is complaining about queue file dialog. Anything else? No. That's fine. So this is UI model path. So it's not called model path, it's called model file. And then the SPM is called SPM file. Okay. What else? Get existing directory is identifiers not found. Well, okay. Let's say model path. It is a path. All right, here we have some OBS logs and that sort of stuff, which means I need to include plugin support. And I think we'll have to include OBS module. Let's see what sort of progress we're making. Hello, Matthew. Thank you for hopping on. You can stick on for a while, and I don't know, just let me know if there's anything you are interested in seeing or knowing. Okay, so save the setting. Wait a minute. See declaration. It's not a member. Yep. So this is indeed slot. No. Wait a minute. Save settings. Save settings. Yeah, we don't need that actually. There's nothing connecting that. So let's get this in. Save settings. Would you look at that? Beautiful. It worked. So let's go on OBS and see if things are starting to make some sense. Okay, so we have Polyglot here. Settings, it's empty. Brings me to my home folder, which I'm happy about, kinda. This is the translation language model folders sort of thing. I select that, so it's gonna be selected in here. It's very nice. And now the SPM model is roughly at the same spot. This guy. All right, so once I click OK, it's supposed to be saved, but it's not. It failed to save settings. If your folder not exists, it's created the folder. Failed to open config file. It failed to save settings. Eventually, it wasn't able to open or save the thing, which is quite annoying. So let's see. App data, OBS. Let's see, OBS Studio. We got plugin config. Matthew, you're asking if I can upload, if you can upload your own pre-trained model to OBS. So if that is if you're asking about a translation model, so definitely yes. So you can select any model that you have. Right? I download this one, the 600 megabyte one, just because it's the smallest. It's kind of small, so I didn't want to wait for an hour to download a 4 gigabyte model. So I got this one, but you can definitely pick up whichever one you want from C Translate. They have a bunch, and I'll link. Once I clear the plugin and it kind of complete. I'll link to some places you can download models. There's all kinds of models. There's ones that are NLLB means no language left behind. It's a model from Facebook, but there's other models like Opus and that sort of stuff, and they have like more specific things like English to this language, English to that language. That's going to be, so you can download those and bring those in, yeah, of course. All right, I'm trying to figure out why this guy's unable to save. Like, fail to save settings, fail to open config file. Yes, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, but I had stuff that was supposed to protect me from all of that. Oh, right, there is one thing that I need to do that I did in Brain and I'm not doing in here. That is, all right, for those of you online who don't know, Brain, do you upload a multimodal model? Made I use Seamless M4T? Yeah, I know about Seamless M4T, and I think the C Translate people have discussed Seamless M4T. C Translate to M4T. Yeah, I've been there recently. In one of the forums, and they were talking about Seamless M4T. Foundation model. Yeah, but anyway, I saw somewhere that they want to bring Seamless M4T. Anyway, I mean, if C Translate 2 doesn't work out for us, there's always Llama CPP. That could run this. I can't see Llama CPP, but how about GGML? Oh, fair sick. Yeah. Anyway, let's just get it working, and then we can talk about like more fancier models. Right now, I think that this is doing, like, the NLLB is an excellent model. It really is. It's very good, and it does like 200 languages, and it's quite capable. So I'm gonna stick with that for a little while, and if there's demand, I will definitely I'll definitely redo things. All right, so I want to get the settings loaded. Run doc. All right, yeah. This is something that needs to happen like at the very beginning. Big data. That's fine. So what's happening here? Saying, yeah. Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, just check in later. So I'm gonna keep working on this. So, yep. Thanks very much. Yeah, appreciate that. I get the registered doc in here. Yeah, thank you. What do I do? I'm really what does this do? Okay, I don't know. Heart is gone. Thanks for the subscription, Matthew. Okay, config data. Yeah, so this is really what I want to do. I just want to load config. So loaded config, get the log config. But this load config should be, there's one version of load config that will actually create load config. So config and then warning, no, failed creating a new one. Save config true. So config file, group not exists. Should be true. JSON. Anyways, this one should be okay. All right, any of that. Load config settings. Now, load config settings means I have to include the utils config data. So it's stuff in here. Okay. Let's build that. Shut down OBS. That's fine. Unexpected compiler expected a C++ compiler. Okay. Yeah, we need some extern. Okay, these guys are fine. Yeah, these guys are fine. This is a little out there, so I don't want to extern see this. I just want this whole thing to only happen if we're doing C++. So plugin main C will only see just a couple of things. Brain does not exist. This needs to be polyglot. All right. Okay. That's weird. That's very weird. I guess we don't have that in C. We learn something new every day. this case, we already need this. Let's see, we are loading the config before we register the doc, so yeah, we should be fine. Still, I don't know if there's a load config. Yeah, reference in that one. Wait, we did add. I added config data. Add config data, which has load config. But we're doing config data. That's fine. Unresolved standard symbol load config. C++. Okay. Get that thing going. All right. Nice. Let's go on OBS. Let's see what's up. Okay. Very good. Let's just select folder and select this one. Save. All right. Saved settings. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if we reopen OBS, the settings should be in place. Boom. They are loaded from file. All right, one thing I was forgetting is the HTTP server port. Now we kind of have to go through everything and add it in. So HTTP server port. Very cool. Noise. Insane. 8080. I actually do not think 8080 is a good idea. Could be 1880. Why not? We don't want to trip over any sort of port that might be in place. So this UI, I don't have anything like that, but I do have HTTP port. Store that. Let's see if this compiles. All right. One thing that I wanted to get off the ground is like the actual legit HTTP server. Value. It's gotta be set text. There's no other thing. What's short? Yeah, this would require a little bit of thinking, though. this would require some thinking because we need this is the HTTP server port. It's gonna be in there. All right, let's see OBS. Did it take our default port? Ooh, wow. That. So our JSON parsing failed. It's to be expected because the value for the HTTP server port does not yet exist. So we shouldn't really fail on that. That's kind of a bad crash to have, which we could take care of in here. This is like in here. We can try this instead of crashing. Change that one. Build the parse. Instead of crashing, let's do that. We'll run this, but now the HTTP server, let me think. Where do we want that to actually go? This one is done. One and done. All right. It does not crash. The port is 0. We said 80, 180, 80. Okay, settings are saved. Absolutely wonderful. Let's make life easier for us in yeah. Okay. I think we need a folder here, and this would be translation. Service. Let's get these two things up in there. But really what we want to do is we want to do HTTP server. CPP and HTTP server.h. So I don't know. Start the server. Stop the server. Something like that. Makes sense. Yeah, let's not do that yet. I want to include HTTP-lib. Yes, indeed. It'll be nice if we can include HTTP server.h as well, just at the top there. What else? Q main window? Nah, I don't know. Okay. It doesn't know HTTP-lib. Whatever. We also need to include our utils config data. It's got important information in there. So starting the HTTP server. There we go. Link logs and the host and the default handler and something like that. It's totally fine. So the HTTP live server actually most likely should live in our global context. Should live in our global context. Just because. And this VR. So now global context SVR, it's already there. Okay, this would make this one oh so simple. Let's include OBS model, but let's actually include this one. And no, we also should include plugin support so that we can OBS log. Thank you so much for that. Now, settings dialog. All right, let's add this one into our CMake. So C translation service HPC. And this one also had migrated. Can't say anything. All right, let's give this one a spin and see how it does. Okay, so we're nowhere near translation, but we're getting there. plib is not what? Oh shoot, yes. Config data has got this one again. I need to forward declare that as well. Forward declare this server pointer. Unfortunately, we're going to have a function to destruct this because these are all going to be allocated. Well, so starting to server, create the server. You know, it's a pointer. Stopping this server. Stop. Let's also delete. And set it to no. Okay, so stopping the server, starting the server, and so on. Let's see. Wow. If it's not already running. Interesting. Just yeah, let's keep it like that. All right, rebuild, and let's see if we can get this server to start. All right, one thing I need to do is run my Qt creator, and we're gonna need a button for starting the server. So, nope, not that one. I start HTTP server, and let's call it start HTTP server. Save this one in. That's fine. This one is complaining on some about some things. Syntax error. Context SVR. That's interesting. Server. Polyglot global context dot SVR. That sounds okay. Config data. Config data points to sure. This is global context. Not that. Type. Yeah. All right. We're making measured advancements in here. Set default handler is not a member of HTTP server. Don't know enough about HTTP to be effective. So let's just grab this guy. Doesn't matter. I'm just doing some tests. Okay. One other thing to do is in here, I need to connect the start HTTP server. Where's that function? Actually, I think I need all these functions. In here, I can get away with a lambda. Don't actually know. How do we say? Do we call it start HTTP server? Very cool. I don't actually need to capture anything. This is going fine. So start HTTP server. Oh, we need a button for stop HTTP server. Wait, this should probably be like a toggle button or something. It's to be a toggle button. This Keep dock widget? No. Abstract button. Checkable. Hey. Auto default flat. Repeat. Yeah, start, stop. HTTP server. Right, something like that. Going back to here. Let's just see how this runs. Or in fact, let's rebuild. Get the UI in place. Yep. If we don't include translation service HTTP server H, then we're never gonna get this function here. Still not there. JSP server. Weird. That's weird. Name equals text. Oh, it's called push button. Why? Let's save this. If nope. If the button is checked, start the server. Stop the server. Yes. It's the other way around. Mm-hmm. I need to capture. Just capture everything. Wonderful. Let's have a look. All right. Ooh. Wow. Fancy. Fancy crash. Means we're doing something right. What I think happens, let's hypothesis. it tried to deallocate, which shouldn't have. I think stopping the server. It's stopping the server. So we only need to do this if it doesn't goes like this. That's totally fine. But our config data, oh, that's fine. I mean, the global context, when this is just starting, like register doc, I need to like reset context or something like that. Did we like void reset context, something to this effect. Functions are okay. All right, so we need like reset context. I'm saying load config. Reset context when the plugin loads. Okay. Let's start server. Server not running. Starting. Is that what we actually want this to do? Okay, so if I click it again, nothing happens. Okay. Oh no. It's totally just dead. Alright, stuff is happening. Stuff is there, SP7 not running. It's doing stop. That's fine. Maybe I did get it wrong in here, and this would be, if it's checked, start it, otherwise stop it. Alright, once this thing is working, we're gonna call this a night and come back to this tomorrow. Let's have a look. Nope. Nope. This thing is seriously not happy. Yeesh. This does not look good. Didn't even log. It didn't even log. Not about this. Okay, I think like we need. This must be a variable from an closing function scope. This cannot be implicitly captured because no default capture mode is specified. Yeah. This was unexpected here. Yes. Let's see. It's still very aggressive and just shuts down the whole deal. Let me see. So okay, I'm gonna have to come back to this and see about the HTTP server. This might need to be called in a different thread. It's really unfair toward the UI that we do this on the button click. I mean, it's fine over here, but this kind of needs to happen in a different thread. Which is interesting because this doesn't say anything about thread. It's actually blocking IO sockets with local libraries non-blocking. Here if it's blocking IO sockets. SSL support server. And setting up the server and then calling listen. Yeah. Find the socket, static file server. Last exception handler. Default thread pool. Save. Did this and then you started listening. So, okay. Obviously we're doing this and then we're starting to listen. But this has to happen on a different thread, in all honesty. This is kind of how it needs to go. But it seems like we need a little bit more work here. So we'll save this for another opportunity. Do one last trial and shut it down. Yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure that we need to do this on a different thread. So for now, we got a bunch of things going for us. We're almost there in terms of the server. We have the settings things connected, so everything is almost ready to go. As soon as we get this done, we can start doing the translation requests. But yeah, thanks for watching today, and I'll catch you soon in the next session. So, all right, bye for now.